my name is Blaine Walker, and I'm here with my partner Frank, and we are on our first shoot. And what we're doing is we're promoting Central Texas businesses, and we're in Temple right now, downtown Temple, at Kowboy with Jet Preston. And I'm going to interview Jet here tonight and find out a little bit more about his establishment here, and see where it came from and where it's going. So I want to introduce Jet Preston, owner of Kowboy. And so tell me, Jet, what inspires a 26-year-old man to from Gatesville to open a wine and beer bar in downtown Temple?
Well, I had the idea for several years back when I was going through college, and it kind of turned into being a wine bar. You kind of go with what you know and what you're interested in, and had to make sure it made sense on paper. I wanted to go into a medium-sized town, medium-sized market. I like downtowns. I'm passionate about downtowns. I wasn't sold or for sure on which downtown I was going to. I looked at several different cities that might work, and I went to undergrad at Mary Hardin Baylor, so over in Belton, so I knew the area. My parents, live about 35 miles away, so I'm familiar with the area. And I was driving around one day and saw this building, and looked at the demographics and the location of Temple and its relation to other areas. It's close access to I-35. You're kind of in the middle of Texas, and it just seemed like a good place to start and grow a business. I felt like Temple is a town that is growing, and it seems to show growth. People around here are passionate about what they're doing.
And this was 2009, right?
Right, correct.
So Temple downtown has grown a lot since 2009. So you were kind of one of the beginners down here, right? In a sense?
At the time, there was some other businesses down here, and the more businesses that we bring down here, everything helps out. So I like to see that everybody do well that's down here, and I've seen a lot of changes. Like everybody that's lived down here and lived around the area.
Yeah. And you said that you wanted to do something that you knew about and you enjoyed. So tell me about your knowledge of wine and how you decided to be in the wine business and enjoy wine. Tell me how that ends up for someone from Gatesville.
Oh, well, after Gatesville, I went to Mary Hardin Baylor, ended up in Austin, and it's just one of those things people fall into, whether it's wine or bourbon or beers. It was, kind of product of your environment. After a while, I kind of got to know wine and figured out and became interested in the history of it and the product, and yeah, so that's kind of how it worked out.
So then, so you're Mary Hardin Baylor, you're in your 20s. What were you doing for work prior to opening this?
Right after I got out of undergrad, staying around here. I worked for a beer distributor. Then I did marketing for a manufacturing company. I went to work at Dell for a few years, and I was working for Dell when I opened this, and kind of ended up back in this area after that.
All right. So we got a little history of where you came from and what inspired you and everything. However, what inspired your name? How did you come up with the name?
Well,
Kowboy.
I knew I had the idea for a wine bar or casual wine beer bar. I didn't really want a typical wine bar name like Vino or Grape or something. So I wanted something a little different, and I wanted to come up with something on my own. It's Kowboy Wine Bar. My middle name is Jet, Jett. So I just put a J out there on that, and I grew up in the country, and I've always had cows and different things. So I was like, well, Cowboy, we'll just call it Kowboy and see how that'll go. So that's kind of how it went.
It's an impressive name. In fact, I sent a friend of mine a text to meet down here, and the first thing they said was, "Great name."
All right.
So you got a winner there. So let's talk a little bit about your decor. What were you thinking about when it comes to the feel of what you're trying to project to people when they come in here?
Well, I did want some kind of modern rustic. I do like to try to bring in local artists if I can. Some of the stuff on the wall right now is from local artists.
Oh.
So, I try to talk to just people that do art, colleges around here, if they have students that want to show their art. The Central Texas Art League, if they want to come in and do an art show, I'll do an art show. If they want to sell it out, whatever they want to do, it just helps promote them, and it puts different things on the walls as well.
Okay. All right, so Jay Kowboy, tell me about your wine selection, your beer selection. What makes your decisions on what you sell here and what you offer? And tell me a little bit about the transitions of things. The variety of some things that you may have, things that you change out.
I try to keep a base level, not real large on beers. 14 or so different beers. I have your basic domestic beers, and then on craft beers, I try to rotate the craft beers out.
Is that tap beer?
Some of it's tap and some of it's bottle.
Okay.
So I have a few taps and then cans and bottles of craft beer, and just try to rotate them out to keep it new and keep it fresh, and different selections. Wine selection, try to keep it somewhere, 50 to 100 different wines, red, white, and
wow.
Different areas of the world, kind of trends, what's going on, and also try to make them affordable for people. So,
yeah. So how many different wines do you have? Would you say you have here tonight to offer?
Maybe 60 or so.
Okay. And do you promote a certain amount of them? Like, I noticed you have some wines that are bottles that are open, 6 or so that are open
right
on the shelf.
Yeah.
How does that work?
I do some just by the bottle, and others I'll do glass and bottle.
Okay.
And it just depends, for the area, just so they won't go bad on me, and bad for the customers as well.
Right. Okay. And then when are you open? Tell me your hours when you're open. What
right
days?
Now, every day but Sunday, open at 5. Monday and Tuesday, typically 5 till 10 or maybe later. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 5 till midnight, and Saturday 5 till midnight or 1.
So are you working this place all that time, or do you have help?
I have some help. There's some other bartenders,
Okay.
and they'll come and help out, and we'll get it done. We do open, other times for like special events or parties, and depending on what people want to use the space for.
Yeah. So you said parties and stuff. Do you offer events here that you have a Monday night something, like a Monday night karaoke, or a Wednesday night something, a poetry night, or
we don't have karaoke. We do have a poetry night
Okay.
at the end of the month. We have different book clubs that come in. We've done baby showers. We've done church groups, altruism groups, just all different types. We have trivia nights sometimes. Then we have some live music nights every now and then.
Okay. All right. So I guess last question I have for you is, where do you see this going? I mean, you're comfortable where you're at. You want to see it grow. You want to. What are your thoughts for the future?
Oh, I'd always like to see it grow and better. Everything's changing and evolving. You kind of have to change with it, and just hope you can make it better for the customers, and people enjoy it.
Sure.
And that's what it's there for. It's for the customers and the patrons, and hope everybody has a good time.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, I appreciate your time. Appreciate you letting us come in here and do this tonight, and hopefully we can promote you to get more business in here so you can have a future.
Okay.
There
you go.
And I appreciate it. You're a good man. I've met you and not gotten to meet you over the last 2 months, and I think you are honest human being that cares about people, and I got that from you, and I appreciate it. And we're going to be talking to some of these regulars here in a few minutes to see what they think about Jet and his place here.
There are not a lot of places in Temple to go in the after work, so I work right across the street from Jet, and we've been to the other places. The other places are okay. They're a little more expensive, and they're a lot more crowded. And what we like about Jay Kowboy is we can come over here. Jet sits down with us and talks to us, and there's no loud noise, no crowds. Generally, you know, on the weekends it's crowded, but generally after work we just come and we have a couple of beers and sit around. It's very, very informal, and we like the atmosphere here.
I like coming over to Kowboy's. I like the atmosphere. It's laid back. Jed's a super nice guy, and you just kind of feel like you're coming home and hanging out for a while. Several people come and go. It's just a good place to be. And come have a drink and visit with friends. Just a really nice place to be.